What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and I'm going to be bringing you guys quite a few tips today. So we're going to be taking a look at body armor and how you guys can apply it faster, so that way you can get straight into the action. Also, we'll be looking at one of my favorite Xm4 class setups, which will be coming up here real shortly, and we're also going to be going over a couple more tips that I have in store for you guys. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and let's take a look at the Xm4. So for my Xm4 class setup, I'm going to be using the agency suppressor, and the main reason I like using this is because it's going to give us a little bit of vertical recoil control as well as going to completely suppress us. So having the vertical recoil control I find to be really nice on the Xm4 because it does actually have pretty decent amount of vertical recoil. So stacking that with the field agent grip, which we'll get to shortly, is very good in combination. Now you are going to lose effective damage range and bullet velocity, and if we look at how much of a hit we're going to get, it's only going to make our effective damage range 30 meters, which honestly isn't really too bad, especially because I like to try to use this weapon more close up. But our second attachment, we're going to be using the extended barrel, and the main reason we want this is because we want that extra bullet velocity, so that way we get more consistent hit registration at longer ranges. For our next attachment, again, we talked about the field agent grip. This is going to further reduce horizontal recoil while only reducing our shooting move speed, which really isn't too bad. And it's also going to give us that 6% vertical recoil control, which works great in combination with that suppressor we have on. Now, for the fourth attachment, I should say, is the Airborne elastic wrap. This is going to allow us to change our stance going down to prone without having to have any weird animations, so we can drop shot or just get to cover, whatever we need to do. It's also going to give us maximum flinch resistance as well as decrease our ADS time to 210 milliseconds, which is awesome because it allows this weapon to feel so much snappier. For our final attachment, we are going to be using the Raider pad, and the main reason I like this one is because it's going to decrease our sprint to fire time, and it's also going to increase our aim walking movement speed. So our new sprint to fire time is going to be 340 milliseconds instead of the 460 milliseconds that this gun has, which is really slow. So make sure you have this on for that, and then you're also going to get back some aim walking movement speeds. You can strafe and wiggle in gunfights, and you're only really going to lose hip fire accuracy, but that's not really too important with the way we are building this gun. Moving on to the gameplay side of things here, we'll be watching a 47-6 with the Diamond Xm4. Got my Diamond Assault Rifles yesterday morning. This Diamond Xm4 right here is using the iron sights like that class setup I gave you. Now, one of the things I did want to make mention of is if you don't like the iron sights on the Xm4, feel free to go ahead and take that suppressor off and put on a mill stop reflex or the microflex LED. Both of those are very great low zoom options. Now, moving back over to the gameplay side of things here, I decided to go ahead and look up the stats of the players on the enemy team that I could find and try to get the average kill death ratio to give you an idea of what kind of skill-based matchmaking lobby this is. The average kill death ratio on the other team, it seemed to be around a 1.45, which is definitely way above average. If you guys don't know, the average Call of Duty player has anywhere from around a 1 to a 1.1 kill death ratio, so that is definitely way above average. Now, continuing on here with the gameplay side of things, I wanted to go ahead and go over our first tip for the day, and that is going to be shot punching. This is something that a lot of pros and high-skilled players use back in Black Ops 4, and it's definitely a great strategy to use here in Black Ops Cold War. I don't see a lot of people using this, and you can see right here I attempted to do it after I realized that I should be doing it. And I decided to go ahead in a private match to show you guys exactly what I mean. So basically you shoot one bullet into somebody and then you just press the melee button and boom, they're instantly dead. All you have to do is hit them once and then punch them. And it's going to be much faster than if you try to do what I just did there before, and I tried to just put, enough bullets into the guy, but the problem was I didn't have enough bullets in my clip. And I would be able to conserve much more ammo if I just shoot one bullet and melee the person. So, very good tactic to use. Also, just want to point out, so many of these lobbies I get into are just so slow paced. Everyone's just kind of camping. I don't know, but that's just been my, honestly, that's been my whole experience on this game. A lot of people are saying this game is faster paced than Modern Warfare, but I just don't see it, man. I've been having some of the campiest lobbies I have ever seen in COD history on this game, and I just wanted to make mention of that real quick because I want to ask you guys, how has your experience been? Has it been rush happy? Has it been campy? Let me know in the comment section below. But moving on to our next tip, let's talk about armor canceling. So right here, you'll see I apply the armor without canceling the animation, and now I go ahead and cancel the animation. look how much faster my weapon comes up compared to the other one. This is something you guys should definitely be doing, and it's not hard to do whatsoever. All you have to do is just press your weapon swap button, and it will cancel the armor animation. So as soon as you press that button to call on your armor, go ahead and cancel it, and you'll be able to get right back into the action. And this is great, especially if an unsuspecting player is trying to rush you down. You apply that body armor, and you go ahead and just gun them down or whatnot. So it is definitely a great tactic that you guys should be putting into your repertoire. If you guys aren't using the armor score streak yet, I would highly recommend it if you're going for nuclears or you're just trying to stay alive a lot longer. Note that it's going to have a 2-minute cooldown, so it's not going to be something you're going to earn a lot throughout the gameplay. So once you get it on, try to preserve it until like a gunfight that you really need it. Don't just go full balls to the wall while you have it. Try to preserve it, and you'll keep going on a longer streak, and who knows, maybe whenever you're close to a really high streak, it can save your life. Now let's go ahead and talk about what I just did there. That ammo cache is on a lot of maps, and I see a lot of people are not using this yet. So these ammo caches are going to refill any ammo that is missing from your current clip without having to actually do a reload animation. On top of that, if you have less than 2 magazines, it's going to refill that. Now you're never going to get anything over 2 magazines, but it's useful if you are running out of ammo. It's almost like you don't really have to run Scavenger, but I would still definitely recommend running Scavenger in this game because it is going to give you 2 magazines every single time you pick up ammo. Now, that ammo box is also going to replenish your tactical and your lethal, so you don't really have to use the gearhead perk because you can basically incorporate going to these ammo stations during your actual gameplay, and that way you will never really run out of lethals and tacticals, so it's something that you should be aware of and putting into your gameplay. Now, for our final tip I wanted to talk about today, that is going to be the most underrated perk in the game right now for Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed. I do not see almost anybody running this perk whenever I am playing the game, and I really think that you should trade out Tactical Mask for this perk, unless you are seeing that a lot of people are spamming stuns. Then I would trade out Flak Jacket. And of course, if people are spamming both lethals and tacticals, then I would highly recommend just using both. But if you're in one of those lobbies, and the majority of the times people are only using one or the other, so that perk is Forward Intel. And I told you guys earlier in this gameplay that you should be watching out for the indicators that are blinking on the radar. And why is that is what happens whenever someone freshly spawns in that is outside of your radar's view. So if you don't know, the radar is going to show a lot more whenever you're running the Forward Intel perk, and that's kind of to balance out the whole spawn thing. So basically what happens is, whenever someone spawns in that is outside of your radar, it's going to blink on your radar. You're going to see the indicator of an enemy, almost as if they were firing their gun. And how this is going to help you is you'll know whenever spawns flip. Here in Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed, the spawns flip like crazy. They just don't have too much logic. People just start pushing spawns, they flip. There's a lot of randomness in this mode, and it can really help you guys understand whenever it's going to flip, and you'll be able to have the advantage on the enemy because you'll be able to position yourself on the map in a strategic area that might win you gunfights, such as on satellite. You can go ahead up to the middle map where you can start pushing the enemy spawn again. Once you go ahead and see that the indicators have flipped, you can just go ahead and start running in that direction. And they might not be expecting you because they know that you are still pushing their old spawn. But with Forward Intel, you'll know where they're spawning at, and that way you can be on top of your game and you'll be able to be prepared for wherever those enemies might be starting to go. So again, Forward Intel is definitely one of the best perks to be running in Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirm because of the spawn flips, and if you don't have it on your class setups right now, I would highly recommend taking off Tactical Mask with Perk Greed and putting on Forward Intel. It is going to help you guys out so much. It is going to make way more sense whenever it comes to spawn flips, and you'll have the upper hand to unsuspecting enemies that are not expecting you to know whenever their spawn has flipped. I'm going to give you guys a bonus tip actually, and this is something that I want you guys to know because I feel this is going to become meta at some point in the near future if the footstep audio is ever adjusted. So right now in the current meta for the higher MMR lobbies, Ghost and Ninja with Perk Greed is one of the most common 2 perks you see in the Perk 3 category, and the main reason for this is because Ninja is obviously going to silence your footsteps a lot more, and the footsteps in this game are extremely loud. If you are not using Ninja yet, I highly recommend you put it on. Ghost is another thing that a lot of people are using, and that is because there is so much spy plane spam in this game with the streaks not resetting on death. So, in order to help combat that, people are using Ninja and Ghost. Now, one of the most underrated perk 3s, and you can actually still fit it into your class if you use the Lawbreaker wildcard, you can actually have Ghost, Ninja, and this perk, and that is Spycraft. Spycraft is definitely going to become meta if something is ever changed with spy planes, or maybe Ninja gets a little bit nerfed, or the footsteps get nerfed or whatnot, whatever happens. But Spycraft is so good and not a lot of people are running it yet. And the main reason this perk is so good is because it counters so much stuff. It counters the counter UAV, paranoia, and it also counters jammers, but one of the best benefits of Spycraft is the actual fact that whenever you use this perk, if you see a field mic, or you see a jammer, or a proximity mine, gas mine, whatever it may be, all you gotta do is walk right up to it and just press square or X or whatever your interaction button is on PC, and it's instantly flipped as yours. You don't actually have to do any sort of animation as you did in Modern Warfare 2019, where you pull out the little iPad and you start hacking the equipment. In this game, it is instant. It's instantly yours, and I honestly feel that this is one of the best perk 3s in the game because there is so many jammers, field mics, proximity mines, gas mines, whatever on the map. So again, Spycraft might become meta in the future, but right now, with how prominent Ninja and Ghost are, it kind of just sits in the bottom and no one uses it. But again, if something has changed, it is definitely going to be meta, and I just wanted to put you guys ahead of the curve. Anyways, hopefully you guys all enjoyed the video. If this video helped you, be sure to leave it a rating and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.